Gents, Leetons, appreciate being here. Come from Leicester. Before I go into Mr. Pittman, it's Mr. Pittman, isn't it? I didn't even know that was Mr. Pittman. I met him before. But before I go into what this is about, I'll just explain a little bit about myself. Yeah. So my name is Freedom. I spell it with a double 3. Yeah, not a double E. Freedom. All right. Now that isn't a name that I gave myself. I was born Freedom. My dad named me Freedom because my dad was a community activist back in the 1970s. Very well known in Leicester, and is quite a bit of a legend in Leicester. So he named me Freedom by birth. And I think names play a very important role in how we develop as people. So myself, quite a few things. Best way to describe me is a community leader. I see myself as a king, a negus, yeah? But at the same time, I'm an entrepreneur, yeah? So I'm all about business, enterprise, okay? When I say I'm an entrepreneur, I'll just give you a few things in terms of what I am. I'm an author, so this is my book. It's called From the Hood to Horses, and it details my life between the ages of 14 and 19, when I left England and I moved to Antigua. So this literally details my life in Antigua. When I say the hood, it means the hood back in Antigua, not over here. Okay, so yeah, that's my book. In terms of why it says horses, is because as well as being an author, I'm an ex-professional racehorse trainer. So I got my license to train racehorses in the Caribbean when I was 17 years old. And that's a picture of me when I was 17 with one of my horses that I bred myself. And over here today, present day, I teach young people life skills through working with horses. So I've got an organization called Urban Equestrian, and it's about bringing us, black people or people of ethnic backgrounds, into the world of horses. Because it's seen over here as a middle class activity sport. But yo, you go back to any one of our countries, we all have horses and it's quite a normal thing for us. Yeah. So I got into horses over there in the Caribbean. This book tells you about it. But there's a lot of other stuff, yeah, in the background to it. I've got my daughter here also because when I wrote this book, which I wrote last year, I got it published in October. My daughter Aziza, who's now 9, she was 8 then, she said, "Dad, if you're writing a book, I want to write a book." So I said, "Really?" So I said, "Really? Okay, no problem. If you want to write a book, then you're gonna take it seriously, because I'm gonna make sure you write a book and get it published." I said, "Yeah, no problem." So she wrote a book. You know, hold it up. She wrote a book, and her book's called Guess What? We done a joint book launch last October.
I wish I was there.
Yeah.
The joint book launch had over 100 people turn up from the community, and it was well received. In terms of it being well received, we've had book launches in London, we've had book launches in Liverpool, as well as Leicester. We've been on BBC News, Leicester Mercury, Pecan News, Pecan Magazine, and we've won 2 awards. We've done school tours. Up to now, we're still selling books, still promoting, still, you know, doing well. And on top of that, Aziza entered a competition called Leicester's Got Talent, which is an offspring of Britain's Got Talent. So you've got all these city and county talent shows, and as a result of those, if you win those, you get taken to Britain's Got Talent and stuff like that. Her book is an interactive book, so basically when she reads a story, she asks the audience, "Guess what?" Then the audience says, "What?" You know, so it's kind of interactive book. So she performed her book on stage at Leicester's Got Talent last year, and she went on to win the whole thing.
Wow.
So she's the current 2015 Leicester's Got Talent champion. Yeah, so she'll be back there in November to hand over her crown, to speak to whoever's going to win next and stuff like that. My book is part one. This is part one of a 3-part autobiography. Part two I'm writing right now. Part two will be out at the end of this year. Aziza's book, she's got 2 new books coming out next month. What they called?
Guess What's Cooking and Guess What's Else.
Yeah, so one's a cookbook, healthy eating, yeah, for young people to get involved in cooking and adults who can't cook too. And Guess What Else is a follow-up to Guess What, yeah? Okay, so that's it's in terms of authors. Like I stated, I'm much more than that. My father developed me in a certain kind of way. He's a revolutionary guy. I've got Pupsy here from Leicester also, Carib FC. So Pupsy, you want to raise your hand? Okay, so Pupsy, he runs a football team, yeah? He's the owner of a football team back in Leicester. Most of our players are from the black community, African community, yeah, as Pupsy likes to let it be known. I've got my twin boys at the back also. Put your hands up, boys. Shay and O'Shea. Lionz Kingdom Spot, and they play for Carib FC also. So they play as part of the under-7s team, okay? Alright, so like I stated, I'm much more than an author, ex-racehorse trainer. I'm also an educator, which means I do cover work in secondary school, so I do actually teach also. I also run writers' workshops for young people in secondary school, so I'm trying to extend that of Leicester. I run writers' workshops. It's like a 6-week novel writing workshops. I teach young people the principles of being able to write your own books. Yeah? So I'm at 3 secondary schools in Leicester right now. I'm trying to branch outside of Leicester, Nottingham, London, wherever, and get young people to write their own books, because it's important. We need to be our own scripts.
Tell our story.
Tell our stories. If we don't tell our own stories, other people tell them for us and it becomes distorted. Yeah? I'm sure you'll agree with that, yeah? Okay, so enough about the books and stuff. These 2 things here. Like I stated, I like to think I'm a businessman. I believe in community economics, community development, yeah? And also being a community activist, I'm very selective in terms of what I deal with. EDUK. The fancy phrase we like to use is educate global. That's more marketable for young people. Okay, in Leicester, a lot of people don't know, but 7 miles from Leicester, there's a small village called Rothley. Sure, a lot of you know about Maddie McCann, the young girl who went missing in Portugal and so on. Okay, well, she came from, her parents and so on, come from Rothley, 7 miles from Leicester, yeah? A lot of people don't know that in Rothley, there was a person by the name of Thomas Babington, yeah? Thomas Babington, does anyone know who Thomas Babington was? No? Does anyone, does it ring a bell when I say William Wilberforce?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so William Wilberforce is seen as the spearhead of the abolition movement in England, yeah? Apparently, yeah? Thomas Babington was his right-hand man, and he lived in Rothley, okay? Now, the Abolition Act to end slavery, as they say, was formulated by William Wilberforce and Thomas Babington, using testimonials from Eluna Equiano and many other brothers and sisters, okay? That Emancipation Act was taken to Parliament in London, where they got slavery outlawed in England in 1807, okay? A lot of people don't know that, so that's right on our doorstep, that history. Now, we came across this as young people. Some of the elders knew this, but it wasn't too important to them, you know? It's not so important to us, but what we done was, the first Saturday of every August is known as Leicester Carnival, yeah? The first Saturday, every August, is Leicester Carnival. So all for next year, 2017, you can say, okay, the first Saturday in August, that's when Leicester Carnival is going to be, okay? We also know that Emancipation Day is the first Saturday, is the 1st of August worldwide, yeah? So we're quite blessed to say that Leicester Carnival is the first Saturday of August, and then you've got Emancipation Day It's the 1st of August. Okay. Well, what we done, we came up with this walk called the Emancipation Walk. And we connected the history of Rothley to the carnival. The reason being, those who I roll with, we're quite disappointed with carnivals, particularly the Leicester Carnival, because the carnivals today, young people don't really know what they are for. Young people go to carnivals to look a gal, look a man, drink liquor, wine up, shake up, yeah?
Yes.
The whole reason why we have Caribbean Carnival is to acknowledge our ancestors and the struggles that they went through. That is not done in carnivals, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I see, yeah? So we connected this bit of history to Leicester Carnival, and what we do, first Saturday of August, we go to this place in Rothley, where we explain this history to our elders, our young people, and then we walk on the beating of the djembe drum, 7 miles, all the way to Leicester Carnival. When we get to Leicester Carnival, it doesn't stop there. We go on the main stage. We didn't ask for permission. We go on the main stage and we give a Black Power speech. Then at the end of the Black Power speech, we hold a 1-minute silence for our ancestors. They didn't know nothing about this. They didn't feel the need to educate people what carnival is really about. But we as youngers, we do it. Yeah? So we're looking to grow this event into a massive event as big as Carnival itself, where we're looking to expand outside of Leicester, where we have Educate Global Nottingham, Educate Global Liverpool, London, Birmingham, wherever else. You can all come down on this day, do the walk, and really let young people them know what Carnival is really about. Yeah? So that's what that's all about, okay? There's a website and so on, you can certainly have a look at how it's going. Last year we took 77 people with this. This year we took 117. So it's growing and it's growing and it's growing and it's growing. And we didn't ask for no funding. None of it was funded. You get food and everything when we finish it. Food, we feed our people, everything. And you get t-shirts and all of it. Well, none of it was from funding that we received. It was all donations, ticket sales from the community. So unlike the Caribbean Carnival, which receives funding from Leicester City Council, and they have to dance like puppets to the tune of the council, we don't have to do none of that, because this is our own thing, self-funded. It's something that we do for us, for our people, for us, by us. So that's Educate Global EDUK.
Sorry brother, when did you launch this one?
In terms of connecting it to the carnival, last year is when we've done that. Previously, we've done it on 4 different occasions, and we literally done it on Emancipation Day. Yeah? What we thought, let's make it even more controversial, even more explosive, and reach more people. Let's link it to the carnival. No questions asked. And that's what we've done. Yeah? And it's been more well received than the carnival itself. So if no one's doing nothing, next year on the 1st Saturday of August, come join us on the walk and see what it's about. You love it, trust me.
Respect.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And just to also say, we're looking to turn this into we haven't really got a name for it, but our 5-year vision is to have the Emancipation Festival, yeah? It's a bit complicated to explain, but it's like this, okay? The 6th of August this year was when Carnival Day was, yeah? On the 1st of August, you have the Emancipation Walk in Brixton, yeah? So there's a walk in Brixton, 1st of August every single year, yeah? Okay, so me and my posse, we went to Brixton and we done that, yeah? And that's where I actually met Raw Hood, yeah? In reality. Now me and this brother, right, we've known each other through Facebook, through Louis, for about 2 years, and we've communicated through Facebook. And what's funny is we met up in London, Brixton on the 1st of August when we done the walk, they done the walk. It was like, oh, we're meeting physicality. So we greeted each other, you know, we reasoned and seen that we're on the same wavelength. Like went deeper. The brother gave me his personal Facebook friend request, because I've already known him through the organisation. And with his personal Facebook friend request, his name, Rahud Wintz. He's like, well, that's strange, because my family's name is Wint too. Yeah? My grandmother, her name is Nerissa Wint. So we're the Wints in Leicester. So through the common connections and the same mentality, mindset, we kind of found out that we're actually cousins. Yeah. So the Wints in Nottingham is representing Rawhoods, and we're the Wints in Leicester. That's my grandmother, that's my mother, and so yeah, we got family, we don't know each other so well, family big. We're actually cousins. So that's crazy. Alright? Okay. So that's that, the Emancipation Festival. Starts with the walk in Brixton in London. It will end with our Caribbean Carnival and the walk that we do. And everything, the days in between, because it can fluctuate in terms of from year to year, days in between we're having different things. So we'll have a networking conference like this one. We'll have a young people's day. You know what I mean? So, but again, it's all about the real essence in terms of what we really need to understand and guide our young people to a better future as young kings and queens. Yeah, that's what we're all about. Okay. Black Poppy Rose. Anyone familiar with Black Poppy Rose? You familiar with Black Poppy Rose? Okay, brilliant. So, Black Poppy Rose organisation was started by a lady called Selena Carthy in Brixton. She done a bit of research amongst the African heritage community in Brixton and asked them, what are your views in terms of, you know, a lot of you did fight in the wars and thing, or your parents and so on did fight in the wars and the ancestors did. What are your views in terms of Remembrance Day and how you get recognised by Britain and everywhere else? They weren't too happy. They said they don't really get no kind of acknowledgement. They never really have. They've always felt left out. Yeah? So she thought, okay, I hear that. She came up with a solution. She designed her own poppy, a black one, to represent our ancestors. Yeah? She designed this and she started to deal with her local community, Brixton. The thing grew bigger than Brixton, where it grew across London. It grew bigger than London, where it grew to Nottingham, Manchester, myself, Leicester, Liverpool, Glasgow, Dublin, and a few other places. Yeah? And so Black Poppy Rose was born. Now, we don't limit this to World War I and World War II, because a lot of us don't agree in terms of why we was even fighting in them wars anyway. Yeah? We take it back to the 16th century. So we're talking the Anglo-Ashanti Wars, we're talking the Napoleonic Wars, I can't say that so great. We're talking the Civil Rights Movement, yeah? We're talking even Black Lives Matters, you understand me? We're talking any wars we fought, the Maroon Wars, yeah? The Haitian Revolution, all of that, yeah? We're acknowledging our ancestors through this. You understand, yeah? So again, young people, they need to know their history. So by giving them something that's quite flashy, we take this to schools, yeah? So I'm in schools teaching young people real black history, the Kushite Empire, yeah? Queen Nzinga, Marcus Garvey. The schools are calling me up and saying, oh, can you cover Desmond Tutu? I'm like, no, we're not covering no Desmond Tutu, yeah? I'm covering Arthur Wint, yeah? What's really relevant. So we do presentations, we do workshops and so on in schools. We've linked in even with the army and stuff like that, yeah? To make them sponsor what we're doing. Make us speak about African heritage contributions to the wars of the world. Not just World War I and World War II, you understand me? We take it right back to make it relevant, yeah? So that's what Black Poppy Rose is. We've got wreaths, we've got pins, we've got badges for the kids, we've got banners, all kinds of bits and pieces that people can certainly buy and help us to promote the thing. And again, it's all self-funded, so we don't receive no funding from nowhere. We do this all ourselves, yeah? All right, so that's myself. I brought books, I brought badges and stuff like that. And again, it's key to building, networking. Rawhood Wints, Gloria invited me to this event, and listen, I back what MOOR Lions is doing to the hilt, to the fullest, And again, I think it's important that we need to spread it around the country. So I hope that when we host one of these type of events in Leicester, down and support us, and we make it a national thing. Yeah, it has to be a national thing. So, yeah, much appreciated.